Now, one of the most ridiculous things I've seen in this entire election is what's happening over in Massachusetts. That's the Scott Brown versus Elizabeth Warren race for the Senate seat. Now, apparently Scott Brown has got nothing on Elizabeth Warren because they got to go negative, right? But she's the person who was trying to protect consumers. She was fighting against the big banks. These are all incredibly popular. She's quite progressive, and Massachusetts is quite progressive. They like what she's saying. So they had to really stretch, and they came up with Elizabeth Warren once checked off that she was part Native American on a form. We've got a form! We've got a form! And look at her. She's white. Of course she's not Native American. Except that her mother is partly Native American. Apparently she's part Cherokee and part Delaware Indian. So she didn't make it up. It's actually totally true. So what do you have on her? I don't get it. And she filled this stuff out after she had her job. It wasn't like, I'm Cherokee, and please give me the job. So this is the dumbest, silliest controversy I have seen in a long time. It actually reeks of desperation. I'm stunned that anybody in Massachusetts takes this seriously, like, oh, my, you know what? Scott Brown, I don't know if you know this, by the way. He was the 60th vote in Dodd-Frank. That sounds like a good thing, right? That's the Wall Street Reform Bill? No. In order to be the 60th vote, he made sure there was a provision in the bill that if the banks are in trouble, that they do not pay $19 billion. The American taxpayer pays it instead. Now, you can make an argument about $8 billion, because I'm trying to be fair to him, okay? I looked into that issue, and $8 billion might have come from the taxpayers anyway. But $11 billion he transferred over from the taxpayers to the banks. This guy represents the banks better than anyone. What an unbelievable sellout. That guy versus the woman who fights against the bank, tries to protect consumers, but she says she's partly Native American, and she is. How's that close? In Massachusetts, how's that close? So now in order to try to screw it up for Scott Brown, a couple of his staffers went out there, including Deputy Chief of Staff Greg Casey, Constituent Service Counsel Jack Richard, and another Republican operative named Brad Garrett, and they're going to be at a Massachusetts rally, and they're going to do something incredibly stupid. Now, keep in mind the Native American thing with Elizabeth Warren, and watch these guys be clever. I love how stupid those guys look. And so now it's become an embarrassment for Scott Brown. They thought like, oh, we're going to get her. We'll do the Tomahawk jump, get it. What? That didn't work? People are offended by that? Now Scott Brown all of a sudden like, what's up, me? Those guys, I didn't tell them to go do that. I don't know anything about that. No, I denounce and reject them. No. I'm not doing the Tomahawk jump. So as they were trying to hit Warren, being the idiots that they are, they basically hit their own guy. Now they got to run away from the issue. And it was such an important issue to begin with. It'll be a shame that it's not talked about more in the Massachusetts race. You know, if I was running against Scott Brown, I would have run the campaign on how he makes out with banks on a regular basis. I don't know, I would have done ads like, what can Brown do for you? Apparently, if you're a bank, give you $11 billion. I would have been silly. I would have been a child, but it would have been effective. I think I would have run ads about Brown nosing the banks. Yeah. No, but really, you keep doing this because it's based in reality. I mean, what an outrage to take $11 billion and transfer it from taxpayers to the banks. How could the state of Massachusetts possibly consider electing this guy? And by any means necessary, you've got to remind them that this guy is in the pocket of the big banks, and re-electing them would be a crime. So, and by the way, the second weakest thing I've ever seen in an election is also in this one, where Scott Brown keeps using the tactic of calling her Professor Warren. Like, hey, professor, what are you, smart? Are you teaching at Harvard? Yeah, that's because she is really bright, and apparently you're not. Oh, can you believe she's a professor? We got her.